Hi, this is Grace again, and this is Here Comes Cosmic Health. We are taping in Central Park in New York City. I would like to make a correction on episode 2 and 3, where I discuss Trump's chart, and I'll just go over that a little bit more. And we'll also be lightly covering Hillary and Bernie and so forth. That, once again, Donald Trump has the sun, and this is the symbol of the sun, together with the planet Uranus. It's Uranus. Now, Uranus on the positive can give someone a very electrifying, just charisma. But on the negative, Uranus is unpredictability. And since his sun, together with Uranus, is in the sign of Gemini, Gemini rules communications. And obviously, by the way he talks, he's both positive and negative Uranus. This Sun Uranus is the reason why he's so popular, and I predicted that last year in June of 2015 when he first got in, and I looked at his stars and I said, my God, this man is going to be lucky. Very, very lucky. He's going to get very big, and it almost seems as though he's unstoppable. Well, that Sun Uranus is also in lucky star to his Mars in Leo. This is the sign, the symbol for Mars, and it's in the sign of Leo. And it's also in a certain degree of 26 degrees of Leo, and that, my friends, is equal to a fixed star, which is the sign of the king, or it's the degree of the king. So he acts like he's the king, does he not? He's very authoritarian. He's the boss. You're fired. So he's playing that out, but that's the reason why he's so lucky. Sun Uranus and lucky star to Jupiter here's Jupiter. This is a symbol for Jupiter. Jupiter gives the power and energy of expansion to increase wealth, lots of. It's not limiting like the opposite symbol and power of Saturn. This looks like Saturn. And that can block, but on the positive it means focus, work, discipline, the ability to say no and to save, whereas Jupiter cannot save because it's too overconfident, and it says, oh well, who's going to worry about it? But when Saturn happens, then they're going to start crying because they overdid Jupiter. But anyway, Donald Trump has his sun, Uranus, and lucky star to Mars in Leo, so he's very courageous. He's also very bravado, boisterous. The way he talks is just so loud, and although personally he may not be talking like that, but certainly on the campaign he's using that Mars in Leo to just blast it out there. No subtlety. Then his Sun Uranus is also opposition the moon, and the moon can rule women, the wives, and so forth. So here's the symbol for the moon. But the moon also rules the public. So he's got a moon and lucky star to Jupiter. That means lots of people are going for him. It's written in the stars, my friends. But here's the deal. The deal is, as I told you, Saturn can block, can give you problems, can have people oppose you. And that Stop Trump movement, which certainly was not very successful thus far, this planet was in his star pattern, and every time he had the bankruptcies, he had another star picture in. Trump, in his chart at birth, called the natal chart, has a Venus, this is Venus, together with Saturn, and that picture, my friends, is in very difficult pattern to is Jupiter. So that means for all the increase in wealth and expansion, this Saturn, Venus in the sign of Cancer, which can rule real estate and so forth, is an unlucky star and problematical to block his success of Jupiter. And I therefore had predicted, and I did research, of the 4 bankruptcies that he had starting in 1990 with the Taj Mahal, and then after that, within a year later approximately, the Plaza Hotel, and then a few years later, in the 90s, he had trouble with the casinos and the hotels. This picture of the Saturn, Venus in Cancer, the sign of Cancer, real estate and so forth, and also going to rule the public, is squaring or in difficult, or it's going to block his Jupiter expansion, wealth, and lots of increase of all the people liking him and so forth. That, my friends, is going to be in. And whether he gets stopped at the convention, which he probably will not be, because he's the probable nominee for the Republican Party. But when it comes to the election, either Hillary is going to stop him or Sanders, but most likely Hillary. Now, remember that star picture, because that's the hope, since I did the research of his bankruptcies, and those pictures were in. Plus, there's another picture that is going to be a problem for him, particularly in August when his secrets are going to come out. His Mercury, and probably not in his favor, his lies. His Mercury is what he talks about, his communication, paperwork and so forth, is in difficult star picture to Neptune. This is the symbol for Neptune right here. Neptune rules fogs, mists, clouds, lies, deceit, because things are hidden, even if he didn't know it, and even if he's not lying, there are things he didn't know in the various bankruptcies. And then why would you go into a business venture if later on, shortly, it's going to go bankrupt? That there are things Neptune did not know. So that star picture, my friends, is Mercury in difficult picture to Neptune. And certainly, he's been throughout the campaign using that with blatant lies, in my opinion. Not that the others aren't lying as well, but what can you do? This is God's great comedy down here, and also possibly tragedy. So you have the star pictures in Trump's chart where he can get blocked, and also that his more lies are going to come out the rest of the way when he goes against Hillary, and certainly in August, and then onwards into November. Those, I believe, will block him from the presidency. So let's go on with the other people's charts. Why is Bernie Sanders so popular? In episode 2 and 3, I told you that, as usual, Bernie has a lucky Venus. His Venus is in lucky star to his Jupiter, so he has increase of popularity, and they just love him. But the thing, in my opinion, that probably could possibly stop him is his Sun in Virgo is being blocked by Jupiter. And Jupiter could mean that in the end, this election and the broadness of people that like him, that he attracts many, many people to his rallies. But in the end, the Jupiter is in unlucky star, possibly, to his sun sign in Virgo. So he might not be, but in case he is the one and he gets the super delegates to come overboard to him in late July when the Democratic convention is held and they decide to leave Hillary. And why would they leave Hillary? Well, I'm going to decode today's event, and this is where astrology can be so fascinating, because it really is decoding the star energy database playing down on planet Earth. This is nothing but a great cosmic drama playing down as written in the star code. The free will given to mankind is how you choose to respond, what you do with, and what you create now with whatever is coming back that I can read in the star script, maps, or horoscopes. That fascinating. Today, the State Department, the United States State Department, came out and said that Hillary has illegally not followed the rules when she was Secretary of State. Not that Colin Powell didn't also, but certainly with her Hillary's server that she planted somewhere else, that's taking it another step further. So what star picture in Hillary's chart? And as soon as I heard that news item, excuse me, of course I had to go look and see what star pattern was playing out in this fascinating drama down here that you can decode within limits. That the star picture of Mars, which means somebody going after you. Pluto is, they have a great force. The State Department is a great entity of power. In the sign of Leo, is in her natal at birth chart, is square or in difficult pattern to her Venus in Scorpio, and that certainly was all the stories that Trump is digging up about Bill Clinton and his affairs and so forth and chasing after women. But even more so, so that star pattern was definitely in today to give that picture of where the State Department says it's illegal what she did. Now how far that goes, I don't know. But I can only give you the more favorable star pictures that are playing out, and also the more difficult ones that may block, give a problem, and so forth. And the reason why she has this picture that she has, when she was in the State Department as Secretary of State, that she decided to put a server and do something wrong that would give her trouble, is her Mercury is in difficult picture to Saturn. Well, what do you think that means? Mercury rules emails, communications, and in difficult picture to Saturn means that she's either blocking information, the emails, so that nobody else can see them, or now that's coming back to haunt her. She might potentially get blocked. Well, this campaign is going on, but that's written in the star pattern. As much as I want to say, how stupid can you be? You know you're going to run for presidency. Why would you do that? Why? Because Venus and Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. Remember, Scorpio is a water sign. It's hidden. It's not like fire that wants to burst out and be so honest and just erupt with the truth. They could hardly help themselves. That's their nature. But her Venus, Sun, and Mercury on the sign of Scorpio, that's hidden. Now, on the downside, there are times when you have to have reserve and you should be secretive to people who may do you harm. Then you just withdraw and stay away. But on the downside, it can make someone lie and be sneaky. And you can't overuse the stars to say which one she did. But it's possible either way, that her Sun, and especially the Venus and Mercury, are in difficult picture to Mars, Pluto, Saturn, and even the Watergate years ago, all these cases where they went after her, the secret affairs that Bill had, that's all within that star picture. So that's very, very interesting. But I will say this, in case she is able to get away with that and run against Trump, at the time of the November election, her 2 lucky stars will give you why she might win over him. She has now a Jupiter, which means increase, luck, favor, the stars favor you, is a lucky star to her Mars, Pluto, Saturn in Leo. And that really could make her win. Plus another lucky star is she has Uranus, which means that she's very humanitarian. Look, nobody's perfect. I'm not trying to excuse her wrongdoings, possible wrongdoings, but Uranus means her humanitarian interests and causes are in lucky star to Saturn, all the work that she has applied and done throughout her life. Those might really make her become the next president. And then with Trump, he has a plus and a minus, where he has all that lucky to get all these people going for him, but with the bankruptcies, and I tracked that for you, Saturn could block him in the end. So once again, this is The Amazing Grace. Here comes Cosmic Health Show. Bye-bye.